Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. Good evening, I hope you're all doing well. 4 players that Roma should buy as soon as possible. Ideally in the January window, but obviously not all of them are going to happen. This is my list. These are not transfer rumours. This is an interactive video, so play along in the comments. I want to know your 4 players that you want this team to buy as soon as possible. And let me know if you want more of these interactive videos down below. Play along in the comments, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the player you can see on the thumbnail, which is probably the biggest player in my list, and it's Calvin Phillips from Manchester City. Now, obviously, my list is... I'm going to justify every player. Obviously, it would be very easy for me to launch these players in the air and not back it with justifications. It would also be very easy for me to choose players that would kind of exit the realistic side. This is the only player which in this list could turn out to be unrealistic, but seeing the circumstances at which he's currently playing, I don't think it's unrealistic whatsoever, especially after having bought players like Dybala 2 seasons ago, having convinced loan moves with involving Lukaku. I think we could pull this off. It's Calvin Phillips from Manchester City, 27 years old, the Yorkshire Pirlo they called him. I was in love with this player back at Leeds. I was absolutely in love with Calvin Phillips. I loved the leadership which he put in a team like Leeds United. I loved the charisma. I loved the way he presented himself on that pitch. I loved every single aspect of him at Leeds United. He went to a big side, barely ever played, and now his transfer value skyrocketed, kind of fell down massively. His peak transfer value was around 60 million. It's currently less than 30 million. Again, he's 27-year-old, and the time to revitalize his career is now. I have to be honest with you. Calvin Phillips is a player which I cannot see outside of the Premier League. But I would have said this with Tammy Abraham as well. And we know Tammy, out of England, completely revitalised his career. These players who are English-born, playing the English national team, I know it's very tempting to stay in England. But after having had such a bad few seasons, you've barely ever played, your manager, Pep, has called him fat publicly. You know, it kind of does limit your morale. I think he should seek for a new experience. I normally say this with these players, but really, I genuinely think in a team like Roma, he could re-become the player he was at Leeds. And oh boy, if he even dares to become the player he was at Leeds United, what a player. One of the most influential next-gen midfielders if he re-becomes the player he was before. Look, Fabrizio did say a few days ago how Manchester City want him out. He's not part of their project anymore. They just bought that Nunes guy from Wolverhampton. They really are clearing pieces out of their immense project, which is a project which is definitely based on money. They've spent quite a lot of money on him, so they definitely won't, he's out of my project, I'm going to gift him to whoever wants him. No, that's not how it works. In fact, I can't even dare imagine what it would be like to potentially negotiate with a superpower like Manchester City. And just in general, a Premier League side just like Manchester City. I mean, we have difficulties in negotiating a loan move with Scamacca, with West Ham this summer. I just can't believe what it would be negotiating with the strongest team in the world right now. But look, I mean, we've convinced Chelsea with Lukaku. I think a bit of talks over there, us flying to Manchester, them flying to Rome, secret meetings, Dan Fredkin involved. I don't know, but I don't think it's that unrealistic. He is, in my opinion, a very, very special player who has definitely decreased his qualities over these past few seasons. But yeah, Manchester City want him out. His value dropped. The time is now to revitalise him. Calvin Phillips is the first player. Also, we need more solidity in that defensive midfield. Cristante, is being dropped back when the defensive injuries come. So if we can get a leadership in that position, we can definitely be absolutely competitive, even in a more higher level. Yeah, that's my first player. My second player is a player which we've already mentioned before. Definitely a player in a position which we need to cover as soon as possible. I'm speaking about Falcone, the Lecce goalkeeper. Yes, 28 years old. He is extremely agile. He played that game against us last season. And he's played a lot of games over the first start of the season when Lecce was dreaming to fight for that top 4 position. Lecce played very well. A lot of the results came because of the organisation of the team, but also because of the agility of their goalkeeper. I've said it many times how a goalkeeper can't be too young, because goalkeeper position, in my view, is the most pressurized position in the world of football, because goalkeeper is that position where if you're making the mistake, the media targets you. So it can't be too young in terms of pressure. It can't be too old in terms of agility. I think 28 years old, 29 years old, 30 years old even is the perfect age for a goalkeeper. He's 28 years old. He's a Roma fan. I mean, come on. Imagine having a Roma fan goalkeeper who's also good in goal. That would be the cherry on the cake. Another very good thing is that he plays for Lecce. Lecce aren't a rich side. Lecce are a fairly poor side. So we live, in fact, not we live, I live, because I live in Italy. If anyone is from Italy, we live in a country where there's a massive gap between poor teams and rich teams. And the second you start negotiating with a poor team, the poor team can't say no to you. Especially if we offer a teeny tiny bit more than what they ask for, even if we satisfy their demands and ask the price tag that they've established for him, they're not going to say no. It's not like Premier League sides. It's very easy to negotiate with poor Serie A teams because of the divergity in just, yeah, and the complexity of the complications that the system is living. Yeah, I mean, we need a new goalkeeper. I don't even need to justify that. Rui Patricio is washed. Rui Patricio is not the same anymore. Rui Patricio is not the same anymore in terms of qualities and abilities, but he's not the same anymore in terms of confidence as well. So I think we need to freshen up. I think we need to look at a position that would kind of satisfy our long-term projects as well. And there are a lot of names. I mean, Falcone is the one I chose because I prefer him over many, but there are a lot of Italian, especially young goalkeepers, which would be perfect for our position. You look at Di Gregorio, you look at Carnesecchi, you look at Montipo. A lot of them are very similar, but I chose Falcone, partly because he's a Roma fan, and another reason because he's performing really well. He's on great form. If he can only improve this form, yeah, I think it would be a great signing. Third player is my fantasy dark horse. Oh my boy, what a player! I'm speaking about Goodmanson from Genoa. Icelander. Now, what do you call people from Iceland? Icelanders or Icelandics? Anyways, I don't care. He is incredible. He is an absolute baller. He completely outruled our midfield when we played against him and got clashed. He is scoring so many goals. He's providing so many assists. He's clearly the central leader in that Genoa team alongside Retegui. He needs that step up in his career. Now look, I mean, the thing with Goodmanson is, if he keeps on playing like this, the competition is going to be massive. Again, it's one of those players where we either act quick or he's going to go to Inter, he's going to go to Juventus, he's going to go to Milan. That's just how it works. If we don't act quick, we've seen it happen with Frattesi, we've seen it happen with, we've seen it happen with Scamacca. If you don't act fast, other teams will come for you. And he is playing phenomenally well. The competition is going to be massive. We have to anticipate everybody. To anticipate everybody, you need a good scouting department, which does not leave me hopeful. But again, this is not linked to rumours. This is just my list, and I would love to see Goodmanson play for my team. You see, the thing about Goodmanson, he looks so confident. He is a player which played in the Serie B and brought Genoa, promoted them to the Serie A. You know, you're a newly promoted side. You'd expect Genoa and Genoa players to be scared to play back in the Serie A against Italian giants. But he looks so confident. He's scoring so many goals. He's so good on the ball. He looks so agile and he looks so fluid on that ball. It's incredible to see. He's an absolute baller. He's saved my fantasy football so many times. I am first in my friends fantasy group league because of him and because of Lukaku. I've got both of them in my fantasy. The points that both of them are getting is insane. And I have to say, he's one of the players which is surprising me the most in this league. Really, not joking. There are a few players which have surprised me a lot in these first 10 game weeks. Goodmon is one of them. Looks so good. I would love him in my team. That's definitely my conclusion. And then the last player is a defender. We definitely need a defender. We've spoken about this. Replace Ibanez, add more youth, add more potentials, refreshen up the defence as well, because we do have Smalling who won't be there for a lot. And this is exactly where I want to start. Smalling is a leader in this team. Smalling is a leader in our defence. We've seen it without Smalling. We look dead in defence. We're improving, but we do look weak in defence. We need somebody who can not only replace Smalling in terms of performances, but we need somebody who can replace Smalling in terms of leadership. Add him next to Mancini's leadership. I'm speaking about an Ecuadorian player, plays for Bayer Leverkusen, 21 years old. His name is Hincapié. He is the perfect defender that we should buy. In fact, it could be argued he's probably the most difficult player to buy in this 4-player list because of the exponentially increasing value. Because he's playing so well, his value's exponentially increasing. Therefore, high competition is going to be massive. But the most important thing of why it's going to be very hard to sign him is because he's an extremely high profile player. He's classified as, one of the top next gen defenders. Again, similar discussion to Goodmon. We either act now or we don't act. That's how it works if you're Roma. You either anticipate everybody or you don't get him and he slips away from your hands. I've seen the World Cup and Ecuador played some very good, interesting games in that group stage. I've seen Bayer Leverkusen games. Bayer Leverkusen, at time of speaking, are probably one of the most on-form teams in the world. In Europe, for sure, if not the world. Unbeaten. Xabi Alonso looks great. We beat them in that Europa League final, and you look at Bayer Leverkusen now, and that's a massive achievement because Bayer Leverkusen looks so confident. One of the reasons why Bayer Leverkusen isn't conceding many goals is because of him. Charisma, leadership, aggression. He's got that South America charisma, aggressiveness. It belongs to them. South American players are built different in terms of passion. I would love him. He's very, very young as well. He would be the perfect Ibanez replacement. Very complicated to make it happen. But it would be it. It would be even better than Ibanez, if you ask me, in terms of the player that he can become. But yeah, this is my 4-man list. I've turned into Thiago Pinto in these last 15 minutes. These are 4 players, which loans, no loans, permanent moves, no permanent moves. Somehow, I would love to see in our team. I think in terms of Calvin Phillips, I'd love to see him getting revitalised in our team. And Capi in terms of future, Goodmon in terms of incredible performances, Falcone in terms of needs because we need a goalkeeper. It's my perfect list. I would not add attackers in this list because I don't think we need attackers at the time of speaking. But Lotti, Lukaku are playing very well. Another reason why I put Goodmon is because eventually we'll need to replace Dybala long term. Goodmon plays in Dybala's position. Is very creative, so he can kind of become that Dybala replacement. Very proud of my 4-player pick. I've spent a lot searching about them, and I'm very proud. I would love to at least see one of them in our team. I don't know if it will happen, but I would love to see it. Let me know in the comments. I hope you played along. And let me know in the comments the 4 players that you want Roma to buy as soon as possible. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. Please hit that red button. If you've already subscribed, get your friends and families to subscribe. Click that thumbs up. And also let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my list. Talk to you soon. Take care. Roma's almost back. So match preview tomorrow. And very important next few months. Because we've got Derby, Inter, Europa League, starting on Monza on Sunday. A very crucial roll of games. Bring it on. I'm ready for it. Dai Roma sempre. Talk to you soon. Take care. Simo out.